What is going on, everybody? It's Jamie and welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. I'm normally going to garage sales and thrift stores, maybe even a local marketplace pickup to find stuff to flip online. This time it was a little bit different. I got a phone call from a friend, well actually a text message from a friend who I used to work with for the last, well, I worked with them for the last 20 years, but directly worked with them for at least the last 10. They had told me about this attic for a long time, and they said, hey, do you want to come and clean out this attic or help me clear out some of the stuff in the attic? And I said, yeah. So I've heard there was video games up there, heard there were old toys up there, all these things, and you know, it didn't disappoint. I basically just cleaned out the stuff that they were trying to get rid of. They got to go through the rest of the stuff, and I might get a call back to look at some more toys and things like that. Today, I'm just going to show you what it is. I'll try to throw comps up here and there for stuff that maybe is super valuable. Maybe if you see something that's super valuable that I don't really know what it is, let me know in the comments below. But I'm mostly just going to be doing like a show and tell of this stuff. Today, we're going to start with the actual video games first. So here's a peek right here. We'll go through them in a second. I paid $300 for the video game stuff. I paid some extra money for some other stuff I'm going to show. So video games and consoles, we're going to start with the video games. So I paid $300 total. Now here's the thing. These have been sitting in a box in an attic for 10 years. They didn't originally belong to them. It was a friend. They had said to the friend, look, we're going to get rid of this stuff, or we could sell it. They're going to literally throw it away basically, or they could sell it and potentially split the profit. So they sent me a message, and that's how I come into the picture here. So, you know, some of this stuff is old, it's dusty, it's not been tested, and there was too much stuff to try to comp. So I had said, when we packaged the video game stuff up together, I had said, do you have a price in mind? They were basically like, no. And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? For $300, I can't lose, and I think you'll be doing okay. And if I find anything here that's like super rare, like a video game is $1,000 all by itself, of course, I know these people, I'm going to go back and be fair with them. But $300, what I think is pretty fair, because there's a good chance a lot of this stuff might not even work. But let's have a little look at the video games here. Let's start with Atari, okay? This was one of the worst games ever made for Atari ET. Although it's a great movie, the game was terrible. I think there was actually a Netflix documentary where they talked about taking these to a landfill and just plain old burying them in the dirt because it was so unsuccessful. Yeah, but so a whole bunch of Atari games, like a lot, okay? I don't actually know anyone that's super valuable. I thought I seen Kong maybe somewhere. You know, I'm just trying to show you the edge of the cartridges. So maybe somebody, oh yeah, Donkey Kong Jr., maybe that one's worth something. I don't really know. I'm going to have to obviously individually look these all up. And I'll try to throw comps up for a few of them anyway, just so you have an idea of what these could be worth. Okay, well, I don't know what these ones are. If it's obviously a different size, okay? I'm not an expert on these type of games for sure. Atari, on the end it says left cartridge. What does this one say? Left cartridge. Don't know what those are. I'm sure someone will tell me. Maybe in the comments. Frogs and flies. Right? So there's 3 of those. These are actually potentially very valuable. Atari XE. So Flight Simulator. And then the other one I have for that is Bug Hunter. I feel like these could be good. I know the console itself is really good. There's one Sega Genesis game as well. Gods. I think I might have had that, or maybe I still have that one. Do I have that one still? I feel like I had this one recently. Must have sold it. But mine was complete in box, and I think it was like a $25 game or something. Not a lot. Nintendo. So also, before we get to Nintendo, I have a few empty cases, right? This one actually has a game in it, but not the game it's supposed to be. If I can open it with one hand or not. I think it's like Dragons, making a mess here. So Dragons, upside down for you guys, but Dragon's Quest, I think. So that's just going to be a loose game. And then I have a case, which I could sell. So NES games here, we have Super Mario 3, another copy of Super Mario 3. We have Mega Man. This is Blastmaster, Skate or Die. This is, I'm trying to get this one out of here. This is Ghostbusters. Okay. We've got Punch-Out, which I don't think this is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It's just a regular Punch-Out. Tetris. Another Super Mario 3. Mario Duck Hunt. Mario Duck Hunt. Mario Duck Hunt. Okay. So, not so bad. Oh, these are also empty cases, all right? 3 empty cases. Zombies, Ate My Neighbors, Royal Rumble. This is empty. I believe this could be brand new in box, but the box is messed up. I haven't tried to open it yet. It looks sealed. I'm not even sure what this game would be worth. La Quinta 2, Rise of the something. This one is clearly disgusting. This one I'm willing to open up right now on camera. We'll take a look. You can see it still has part of a seal on it, so let's take a look here. All right, so we have our knife, okay? Let's just see if we can get the side of this thing open. I'm not too worried about trying to save anything. As you can see, it looks gross inside. You know what? This box is totally ruined. I don't think it's a big issue at all. I actually feel gross touching this. Let's just rip it. You know what? For what it's worth, I'm just going to try to find the video game in here. I'm sure I'm breaking somebody's heart by doing that, but you can just see all I want to do at the moment is wash my hands. This is just mold. I do not see the game in here either. So this is just an empty box, which is very unfortunate actually. Unless it's somewhere back here. No. You know, gross. The game's not in here. It's absolutely disgusting. My hands are disgusting. I definitely feel gross. I hope I don't die. I'm sure I'll be fine. I go wash my hands, and we're going to reset, and I will show you all the consoles that I picked up. There's a bunch. All right, we got the table cleaned up. I got my hands cleaned up, but we're still digging in dirty stuff, and this next pile of stuff is definitely going to give somebody an anxiety. I apologize. I tried to separate this when I was there and then realized I was just wasting my time. But I'm going to show you some of the better things down here. And you can see this is just a whole mess of things. But you can count them here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 NES controllers. I do have a charger for this one as well. It is in there. I think I have the battery back behind, the actual battery behind me, where this one is just like the changeable or whatever, just a regular double A's or whatever those are. PlayStation controller, an attachment for 4 controllers, a wireless attachment. You can see this sneaking up over here. Yes, that is the Power Glove with the sensor bar. This is taped together, so I'm going to have to see what kind of condition it's actually in, but this is a Sega light phaser. I think it might be okay. I have no way of testing it. That would be the problem. So some of this stuff might be parts of repair. This is an aftermarket. I think it's hip gear. You know, there's some power supplies in here. Some of these things to hook them up to old TVs, right? The coax adapters, stuff like that. So there's a lot of cables. Okay, I wanted to show you that before I showed you the consoles. Most of the power supplies are in here. I do have some of the power supplies with the consoles, but yeah. There's a bunch of stuff here to go through, but you know, the big key right here is the Power Glove, because I think this alone could be worth $150, $200. Once again, I'll have to test it out, see if it works. I don't have the actual game for it, but I should be able to just check the functionality at least on the little controller. But the Power Glove, when I seen that, I was definitely excited. Forgot to show you guys these as well. These were just sitting on the other table here. So we have this little instruction booklet. I do have the power supply right here that goes along with that Xbox 360 controller as well. I don't know if it works or not. I'll have to try to test it up. And we also had set aside this, which is the Game Genie right here. I don't know if it works or not. I'll have to test it out as well. But I think it probably holds a little bit of value too. So yeah. We're going to reset once again, and I will go grab the video game consoles. All right, let's do the first round of consoles here. So we have 3 Nintendo, 8-bit Nintendos. Oh, I didn't know there was a game in this one. RBI Baseball, not a very good one. I think that's like a $5 game. Let's actually check the rest, because I'm very surprised with that. No, can't imagine there's one in here. No. Okay, so this one's very yellowed and stained. I haven't tested any of these. I do have all the cables to test them all. This one's probably, the case is probably in the best condition. Maybe that's the one that had the game in it. No, it's not. This is the one that had the game in it. Okay, so we have 3 of those. Untested. Worst case scenario, parts and repair, and I get rid of them. You know, best case scenario, maybe I can pull some money out of these guys. A couple of these little mini systems, I used to buy these from China and sell them at Christmas time. I haven't done that in a long time, but I did that. So this is one of those little mini systems here. This one looks like an updated version of that. I'll probably make sure everything's in there and that they work. Probably play this one for a little bit because it looks fun. But I'll wind up taking these 2 to my booth and sell them locally that way, just in my antique booth or my what tends to be flea market booth for me sometimes. But yeah, so that's round one of the video game hauls. Let me set back up and we're gonna do a couple more consoles. All right, so this is why you can't pay top dollar, because with barn finds, or in this case, antique finds, they are dirty, they are discolored, we don't know if they work. I currently, maybe because I had the power down, you can currently see it's a bit dirty in there. They're gonna take some TLC, so it's not as if these are instant money. And how much will I wanna clean them up? I don't know yet, okay? This PlayStation 1, I have one of these that I haven't listed yet, haven't tested any of this stuff out. So yeah, I don't know if this is for parts or repair or working. I do have the controllers for this, all the power cords for both of these, so I was able to test them. He tossed this in. I actually said I didn't necessarily want it. I don't know what it's worth, but there was no battery back to it. So I could probably still sell it. I will test it, see if it works. Once again, I don't even know what it's worth. I said, without the back, I probably don't want it, because we went through a bunch of boxes and bins and we couldn't find the back. I'm like, you know what, I'll just leave this one. But he tossed it in for free, so I took it anyway, or we threw it in the box anyway. Let me show you the last console, and this one could be a really good one. Now, this last one is definitely not complete. I'm going to consider it parts and repair, but I think I might have the power cord, so I might be able to test it out, but I don't have controllers or anything. I can see if it turns on. I do have a couple of games. I don't know how far I'll get in testing, but parts only, I think this thing is worth pretty good. It's the Atari XE system. I've never seen one in person. I don't know how rare they actually are, but like I said, I've never actually seen one. And this is the keyboard that goes with it. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't have the actual controllers. I might ask him again if I can deep dive a couple of the bins that I maybe passed over, because there was some other Atari stuff that I'm like, wasn't so sure that I wanted to pay up for. Not that I paid up a lot, but once again, these things are dirty, dusty. I don't even know if they work, so I can't pay top dollar for that type of stuff. $300 for all this stuff, I think I can't lose. I think I can win pretty big on this too if some of this stuff winds up being valuable. And like I said, I plan on being fair. If I do make a crazy amount of money, I'm going to go back and say, hey, thanks so much, here's some money. But it has to be something that's like clearly worth a lot of money that I'm not aware of, because most of this stuff is just like a lot of work, might not. I'm taking a big chance. So in that case, you know, I think $300 is fair. Let me show you some of the toys and other stuff I picked up. I'll kind of tell you how much I paid for that, because the first part of the deal, I paid $300 for this, and then I started digging through other boxes. I just wanted to make sure this deal was separate than the other stuff, but I'll show you what else I picked up. Okay, so we have two piles. I'll explain why there's a second pile over here. But this pile right here was the first pile that I picked. And, you know, I said, how about, I just looked at what was here. I said, how about just $100 extra on top of the video game stuff? And he's like, I don't know. I looked up some of these tin toys and he thought this was where the money was, and he thought potentially this hat could be good too. And I said, okay, so what do you think? And he's like, $150. So there's $150 here, okay? I haven't looked up either of these, but these two VHSs were the only kind of horror movie or like comic VHSs I could find. I didn't look them up yet. Worst case scenario, I get $5 a piece out of my booth pretty easily. Have looked this up. I've actually already listed this hat. I'm trying to get about $40 US for this hat. It is a vintage 80s Disney Epcot hat. There's not a sold, but there's a couple listed very high, and it is somewhat of a rare hat. So there's 50 bucks there. Okay, this is a Seiko watch. I actually took it to the jeweler and he put a pin in it and wound it back up for me. You can see it ticking away. It's got, when I'm filming this, it is Saturday the 16th, so the date is correct as well. I think I could probably get about 90 to 100 out of just this watch. I don't remember what this toy is, but it's a two-headed monster. I think this is an old G.I. Joe. Somewhere in one of the other bags, I do have a book bag that goes with him. I don't know what the value is on this guy. I don't know anything about these older toys, but this is like metal. It's a Tonka truck. I'll try to look up any of these that I can and throw up comps for, but I don't really know much about them, except for I didn't want to leave them. Oh, there's the if this is a Joe or whatever, this is his backpack. I'll have to look up what he is too. And then this one's cool too. It's like a little tin tank. So 150 bucks here. I thought that was okay, because I figured between the watch and the hat that paid for it, took a chance on this stuff, which I don't, you never see me pick toys up like this, because I don't. You know, if they're super valuable, I'll sell them online. If not, I'll try to get them gone in my antique booth. So I figured that was okay. Now I went back there a second day because I had to drop something back off. I was fixing something for him and I dropped it off, and he said, hey, I've got a few more things. He dug around and found all these VHSs. Okay, so we have Predators of the Wild, Werewolves, Screamers, The Incredible Melting Man. I didn't look any of these up. I just said, how about $2 a VHS? He said, that's fine. The Terror. Worst case scenario, like I said, I throw them in my booth for about $5 a piece, but sometimes these things are worth $20. Sometimes My buddy Scott sold one VHS for like, I think like a couple $100, if not more than that. Wes Craven, People Under the Stairs, and it's sometimes some of the more rare ones. Night of the Living Dead, okay. So I paid $2 a piece for this. For everything right here, though, we've settled on $70. Neither one of us had change, so I gave him $80. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do really good on the rest of the stuff. Giving you an extra $10 isn't gonna kill me, so I gave him $80 for this stuff. I thought this might be more valuable. It's worth about $20 USD. I've got it listed already on eBay too. What is this guy from? I know I should know, I just don't remember. Anyway, I think this might be worth 20 bucks. Nothing too crazy. Another toy. You can actually probably put this one over here. I did pick it up in the other buy, but it's a lot like these toys. I don't know what they're worth or if it's complete or anything. And these binoculars, made in Japan, and they actually say Montreal 1976. And I think that's the Olympics, but I don't think they're actually from the Olympics. Like, I don't know anything about them. Just when he said, hey, do you know anything about binoculars? I pulled them out of there, seeing they were Olympics, and I'm like, I don't, but I'll take them if you just want to get rid of them. So we bundled them up here, and I wound up taking the binoculars too. So in total, I spent $530 on all this stuff. I'm definitely taking a chance that some of the video game stuff works. Then we have parts and repair, and you can hope for the best, and maybe there's going to be good stuff in there, right? So that's why, you can't pay up for stuff like that, because there's a big question mark whether it even works or how much value it still even holds. You can certainly lot things up together. We didn't talk too much about value in the video. I might have threw comps up after in editing, but if you watch the channel and you follow along, I'm gonna try to get this stuff listed pretty quickly, or as quick as I can. Hopefully this last quarter, in the fourth quarter, I can actually sell some of this vintage, some of the vintage toys, collectibles, and games and everything. So if you do like stuff like this, stick around, subscribe to the channel. If you guys like videos like this, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe for more content, and we'll see you guys soon.